the annexation of these 4 areas of Ukraine would be a way of him to say, well, look, things are not going quite so badly for us.
But things are going badly for him. He's announced a partial mobilization of his forces. People continue to leave the country, if not by flight. They're taking land transport. We can talk about that, but also in a show of support to Kyiv. Today, France's Foreign Minister, Catherine Colonna, was in the Ukrainian capital. Here's a listen to what she had to say.
My dear Dmitro, France is at your side since the start of the Russian aggression and will be at your side until Ukraine recovers its full sovereignty and territorial integrity during this phase in which we are currently in, but also after the war, because I am convinced that there will be a time after war.
There you can see France pledging its support to Ukraine during this time as well as after. Clearly, France, like much of the West, not going to pay attention to whatever referendum, whatever Vladimir Putin announces Friday or potentially before.
Yeah, I think 2 points. First one is to underline the fact that France is keen to keep its backing of the Ukrainians and Ukraine's effort against Russia. And second point is to show the Russians that referendum or no referendum, that's not going to change anything in the way that France is perceiving this so-called special military operation, aka a war against Ukraine. And Catherine Colonna being quite explicit, saying that the referendum was a sham in that press conference just a couple of hours ago, saying that it will not change France's objectives. It was an illegal referendum, and it will lead to more EU sanctions against Russia, first for individuals who have not been sanctioned already, and then for sectors which are not yet under sanction. So more pressure on the Russians. What I think is interesting to think about now is how this is going to play out, because Russia has been warning in what Vladimir Putin said in his address last week. If you remember, he made an address during the UN General Assembly, not at the UN General Assembly, but in a short television address from Moscow on the 21st of September, saying that Russia had all the means at its disposal and would not hesitate to use them, and that Vladimir Putin himself was not bluffing when he said that that would be the case. He didn't mention nuclear weapons, but that was a threat to the West, that if you are going to go into Russian territory, i.e. once these areas of Ukraine have been annexed and become part of Russia after the referenda that have been taking place over the last 4 days, that would be seen by Russia as a direct violation of Russian territory. So what will the West do now? Catherine Colonna is saying it's not going to change anything. I don't think the Ukrainians think it's going to change anything. They will carry on with the war because they are up there in a situation of dominance in this war. Russia is on the back foot right now, and I think they think, the Ukrainians, that with the support of the West, they have more to gain than anything else, and they will carry on with pushing ahead with their attempts to try to recapture all of that territory that has been captured by Russia so far.
Yeah, but in news just coming in, Russian